One thing is I got docked points at a show for a song cussing. It wasn't even me, it was a song. Um, they docked me points over it, and because I put a system in the truck, and I'm always really big about, at that time explaining what I've done to the truck since the last show, because if people see a truck two or three times, it stays the same. Well, it stays the same. Well, at that point, I was always progressing, and so I put a system in the truck, and the judges were like, "Well, hey, let us hear the system." So I turned it on, and they docked me points for the song cussing, and so I was kind of being a little petty about that.
Buck, let's start out. Tell us a little bit about your trucking operation and what you do just for your day job so you can have fun with pretty trucks.
So I haul a lot of brick and sod to new schools, new jobs, housing additions, and we're in a lot of tight places, and we carry forklifts with ourselves and unload ourselves. Um, and do a lot of job site deliveries, um, which is kind of cool because you don't have to wait on people to unload you. You can unload yourself. Um, but sometimes it's a pain because when it's hot outside, you're sweating, and when it's cold, you're freezing, uh, and when it's raining, you're getting wet, and no one likes getting wet. But it's okay. I like it because it gives us something to do besides just drive. You get to drive, but you get to do other stuff as well.
Yeah. How long you been trucking?
Legally since the around the end of
How did I know
2012.
you were going to start like that?
Well, my dad drove, my grandfather drove. There's a guy back home I hauled hay for in high school sometimes and didn't even have a CDL, but it was a farm truck, so it is what it is. And then um, I actually got into oil field work, and I was doing a lot of stuff in the oil field, and I got into oil field trucking, and then I ended up being an operations manager for a little while, and I just don't have what it takes to lie to people. So uh, I went back into trucking and got out of the oil field altogether, and I've just been straight trucking since 2017 or 18.
Is that when you bought your first truck?
No, I bought my first truck, I believe, in 2015 is when I bought my first truck, and it was a 386. It was a white 386 with a 44-inch sleeper on it, and then my second truck I bought is my Pretty Bitchin truck, and I've had it since like 2017 is when I bought it. So.
When you talk to professional athletes and stuff, there's always this one question that we like to lob at them, and it's like, what was your welcome to the NFL moment? What was your welcome to the NBA moment? What was your welcome to trucking moment?
um I guess when I was born, I mean, my dad brought me home from the hospital in an old cab over Peterbilt. And I grew up in a truck, and I didn't really want to be a truck driver or nothing, That's why I went into the oil field. I tried to go 100 mile an hour in a different way. Um, but I guess when I felt, when I probably really got into like the show world and that end of trucking, so I'd repainted a truck, my Pretty Bitchin' truck. It was red, and I painted it. And this guy that I knew, Robbie Bassey, he showed trucks. And he's like, "Man, there's a truck show in Oklahoma City. You need to come. You need to blah blah blah." And I said, "No, no, no, no." And he's like, "Man, it's a really nice truck." And I was like, "Yeah, it's not a show truck, Robbie." And he's like, "Oh, quit doubting yourself." And so, anyways, he talked me into coming, and it's been a bad addiction ever since. um, but I feel like that's when I really started getting into, uh, you know, hanging out with like-minded people in the trucking industry that care about trucks and care about what we do. And ever since then, it's just kind of growed. And, now I even put on my own truck show now. And it's just kind of crazy to think how far into trucking and things like that I've gotten, and it's been a part of my life since day one. Um, and it's kind of crazy how that happens sometimes.
Well, now we met at Super Rigs at Atlanta Motor Speedway when I was one of the judges at Super Rigs and you were competing and you wound up taking second place best of show with your truck Pretty Bitchin'. Tell us about that truck and how did you approach that? A lot of people who want to get into showing trucks really don't understand, the process that it takes to actually put a successful show truck together.
So the first time I put a truck together, I wasn't building it as a show truck. I wasn't thinking about this or that. I was just thinking about stuff that I like, and I really didn't think about theme. I just kind of built it and then went from there. And I won awards with it, and it was really nice. But uh, when I went to do this truck, I sat down and I was like, that one was nice, but I added the sleeper after I painted it, and I stretched it after I put the sleeper on it, and then I put stripes on it. And I sat down and I said, at this point, I want to do it all at once. I want to do it all where it goes together and it just flows. So I think your first one, is always like trial error, and I think the more you do, the better you'll get at it. It's like riding a bike. First time you ride a bike, you're gonna fall once or twice. Um, and I've had some very good friends along the way, like Mike Anderson and Gary Jones and Robbie Bassey and some other people. That have really encouraged me. Because there's times that I'm like, oh, my truck's not that nice, blah blah blah. Even now, like even at Super Rigs when we were standing there and stuff, I'm like, I guess it's because I'm so hard on myself. I just nitpick myself. I'm like, oh, that's not good enough, or oh, this ain't good enough. And I got to do this, I got to do that. And I think that's one way that you can keep progressing is just always you're going to be your hardest critic. And I I even to this day I still don't feel like I'm in that category yet. But a lot of people tell me I am, and I'm like, no, 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 no. um but I guess that's just part of it.
I think one of the things that stood out, I mean, it's an exceptional truck. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I absolutely loved your truck, but it's kind of rare to see somebody to lean all the way into a theme the way you did. So many times and by theme, I mean some inspiration from the outside, beyond the truck, beyond trucking, and kind of talk through that because it was definitely unique.
So it's kind of multiple things put together. One thing is I got docked points at a show for a song cussing. It wasn't even me, it was a song. Um, they docked me points over it, and because I put a system in the truck, and I'm always really big about, at that time explaining what I've done to the truck since the last show, because if people see a truck two or three times, it stays the same. Well, it stays the same. Well, at that point, I was always progressing. And so I put a system in the truck, and the judges were like, "Well, hey, let us hear the system." So I turned it on, and they docked me points for the song cussing, and so I was kind of being a little petty about that. And then my wife's favorite colors are black and purple, and so anyways, I was like, well, the next truck I build, I'm gonna paint it black and purple. And she loves Miranda Lambert, and that's her favorite country music artist. And we were going down the road one day, and she played the song "Pretty Bitchin'," and I was like, you know what? That's it, "Pretty Bitchin'." And so I built the truck around the song. Um, it says in the song, pretty pink carpet in the floor. So I put pink carpet in my sleeper. It says, help yourself to the Tito's in the kitchen. So I put Tito's out on my step when I show. Um, it says pretty white walls when they're spinning. It's talking about her camper. And so I white lettered my tires to match. And I mean, I just kind of did a whole bunch of little things to bring it all in. Um, and try to tie everything in together. You know, that's what the pink and everything on the truck, you know, it ties the inside together, the outside together, the song, you know, just kind of go through everything all together.
I think that's what's really important for the top tier trucks is that attention to detail. Because there's five categories at Super Rigs, and the two that set, the trucks apart at the top are workmanship because they have to be working trucks. They can't just be, we have a show truck division, but they don't qualify for best of show. They're just out there to show off their pretty trucks. But the workmanship, you can tell if a truck's working or not, but then it's that attention to detail. How much did you actually follow through? And that's what was so much fun with yours is you just like again, like I said, you leaned into it and there was a few shenanigans with some Tito's, wasn't there?
Yeah, yeah, there might have been a bottle missing once or twice.
I saw one of the culprits. Those bikini boys, you got to watch them.
Yeah.
Anyway, no, we had a really good time with that. You talked about your wife. I know you have a boy.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, we have a 7 month old. His name's Court.
Did you bring him home in a truck?
I did not. I'm hoping he's a little smarter than me and finds something better to do with his life than drive a truck. But if that's what he wants to do, then I guess when he gets old enough, we'll build him one.
Yeah.
So,
Um, Talk a little bit. You mentioned the people and just there's a camaraderie around show truck competitions that is different than life on the road. It's not every man for himself, every man or woman for themselves. We hear how drivers are treated and all of the things that you face, everything that you face out on the road. But when you get on a show truck lot, that all changes. It's a family almost.
right. And and I feel like 99% of people in the show truck world, you know, they understand what it takes and they like to see other people that take pride in what they drive, you know, and it doesn't matter what you drive, whether it's a Peterbilt or a Kenworth, um, you know, or a Freightliner or whatever. I feel like the people that are in the show truck world, to them, it's more about caring than it is about just, you know, just driving a truck. You know, it's not just a profession, it's a way of life, you know. And it's hard to find that anymore. There's not a lot of people that look at it that way. A lot of people just do it for a job and they don't want to express themselves. They don't want to do the extra. And I feel like the people in the show truck world, they do, you know. That truck to them it's not a truck. It's, you know, how they feed their family. It's how, you know, it's a billboard of themselves, expressions, you know, um, your own personalities put into that truck, you know, and everyone's got their own personality. And I feel like a lot of people in the show truck world respect that, you know.
Mhm.
Um, some people drive blue trucks and green trucks, and I've heard people say, "Well, that's not something I would build. It's not my style, but it's really cool," you know. And that's a good thing to have because in our world nowadays, not a lot of people are respectful of other people, and you know, I think that's one great thing we have going for us in the show truck world.
I like how you say that the truck is almost a billboard or a business card as well. I mean, that has to impress especially new clients when you roll up in a very nice truck because they know that this is somebody that's probably not out there running with scissors and going to, risk a load because they care about their equipment, right?
Right. I mean, I've had people just take videos as I roll in, and I mean all kinds of stuff. I do a lot of dirt roads and stuff, you know, with hauling sod, and I've pulled in and then just like, oh, that's really cool. And, and then I open the door and get out and then they're like, holy cow, and just take pictures and everything. And that's a good feeling to have is, people get excited about it just like you do.
Mhm.
Um, sorry, my dog was moving over there.
That's all
I was
right.
paying
That's his
attention to
life,
him.
man.
Um, but I mean, uh, and I feel like if you show up in a decent truck or a nice truck to a customer or a clean truck, they're gonna see that. If you show up with a bumper falling off or something, if I had someone show up to my place to haul something for me, I wouldn't I wouldn't be very excited about that, I mean, because that's also a representation of you and what you're hauling, and your business as well as their own. Um, Especially if you pull like an RGN or a flatbed or something, and your products on the trailer, and the guy has a door falling off or bald tires or something, and someone sees it going down the road and is like, oh hey, that's so and so's product, um, and so I think it's very important to take pride in what we do.
Mhm.
I don't think it's as common as it used to be. I remember when I was a kid going with my dad, when people would be broke down on the shoulder, people would stop and help each other. And um, people don't do that no more. I think there's a lot of things in trucking that we should bring back. I do think there's a lot of things that should stay in old trucking, like spring ride and white lettering tires. But there's some good that has come from progression, and then there's some things that we should probably bring back. And that's one reason why I go to truck shows is like you said, it's a brotherhood. Everyone there, they treat you like your family, and it's not just, oh, well, there's another greasy old truck. And that's just it's just welcoming, to know that we still have people out there.
So about truck shows, tell us about your truck show. When is it? Where is it? What's it called?
It's called Lakeside Large Cars. It's in Eufaula, Oklahoma. It's right behind Brahms. We're 50 feet from the lake, 50 feet from a liquor store, 50 feet from condos. We're about 200 feet from a seafood restaurant. The whole town is golf cart friendly, so you can bring your golf cart. Um, there's a water park on the lake for kids. There's shopping downtown for the women. Um, so I've been to several different shows all over the place. I mean, we've been to shows in Wisconsin, California, everywhere. And so when we found this place, we wanted to find something that the kids could come enjoy, something that your wife would want to come to, because if your wife doesn't want to come, you may not come, or if there's not stuff to do. Um, and then I've been to shows that are, really, really white glove that kind of sometimes some people feel that they're not good enough for. And then I've been to more laid back shows. So this show is more laid back. It's in a dirt lot. It's just come wash, hang out, have a good time, spend time with your family and friends and people that, care about trucking. Um, we don't do any judging. We give away. We're this way. We're giving away 5 trophy, early bird, running late, a competitor's choice, and a kid's choice, and then a Shriner's choice because we donate all the money to the Shriners to help with their kids' hospitals.
Cool.
Last year we raised $22,000 to help with the kids' hospitals for the Shriners. Um, the Shriners come out, they help us park trucks. We do a convoy, and the Shriners lead the convoy. Um, it's all day Friday and all day Saturday. We're doing a concert Saturday night. Um, it's a really good time. We usually have about 80 trucks every year. This is our third year to do it.
And when is
And
it?
it's August 29th and 30th. I always get them confused. Is that Labor Day weekend or Memorial? It's in August, whatever.
Labor Day.
That's Labor Day weekend.
Cool.
Um, and we moved it this year to Labor Day weekend. We usually do it the weekend before, but this year, there was a conflict with some other shows, so we moved it to that weekend, and we're hoping that it'll be a good change. Because being on the lake and it being the last major holiday of the year, there's going to be more foot traffic, and we're hoping that since it's on the lake, more truck drivers will come and bring their boats. We have several people that come and bring their truck just because it's right there at the lake, and they bring their boat too, and they go out on their boat all day, and then they come back to the truck and hang out in the evening. Um, so I think we have a lot of good stuff going for us. Um, it's a pretty good show. Bennett helps put on the show. Mike Anderson Trucking helps. There's a lot of people that help with it. Everything that costs money for the show is either paid for or donated by someone prior to the show. That way, every single penny that's brought in that day, 100% all goes straight to the Shriners. That way, there's no cost out of it. Just try to do the best we can to help other people.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, Buck, I really appreciate it. And we appreciate you sharing the photos and videos of your truck. It was beautiful and it definitely deserved uh second runner up on Best of Show. Despite as hard as you may want to be on yourself, I can tell you the scores added up.
Well,
So
I really appreciate it.
yeah. Well, congratulations, and it was really great to talk to you. All
All right, you too, Jamie.
right, hang on.